Hey there, kiddos! Welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I'm that you are having a great day, and in today's video, we are cracking open some Decipher Mega Man NT Warrior Trading Card Game Set 2 Grand Prix. Yeah, I remembered that I have boxes of this, and I might as well open it on the channel while I also talk about why I just love this TCG so much. And as for why we're opening the second set in particular, well, I was going through the boxes and I couldn't help but notice that this one has a damaged seal in multiple places. This has clearly been a tampered box, which means obviously it's going to have the best pulls ever, right? That or it's an Amazon return and, well, we're about to pull nothing but commons, right? That's how it goes. So, this is, for those of you who are unaware, a dead TCG from way back in the day. It's not been around since, what, 2004, 2005, something like that? But it is still one of my favorite card games of all time. I'm a really big fan of it, a big proponent of it. Is like the one, it's like the one card game that I would love to see get restarted. All right, it's been a while since I've actually cranked it back. So here we go with, I forget what the rarity system is. Oh, okay. So the rarity symbol is right there in the center bottom of the card, I believe. I'm going to go through the pack to make sure. Common, 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 common. All right. So our rare for this pack is the Anubis, which is a very, that's an unfortunate look to the card. That's all I'll say. And then, yeah, there is our Net Navi. Iceman, who looks absolutely much like a dork. And most of the Net Navis throughout the game, let's actually put those in view. Most of the Net Navis in the TCG are pretty easy to pull, pretty common. None of them are particularly rare. So, like, here's Mega Man himself, the main man. And, yeah, pretty common. Common, common, common. Another Iceman. A lot of the rares are actually going to be these battle chip cards, since these are like not the best cards in the game, but they do tend to be better than a lot of the other cards you can play, the other resource cards, just in general. Or at least in my opinion. In my opinion, the battle chip cards tend to be better or more impactful in regular gameplay, which is understandable, since in the video game and the anime that this TCG was based off of, the battle chips were how the characters got their modifications. There's the card back. I think I forgot to show that off earlier. And then, you know, just speaking of the card game in general, it is a shame. I've said before, and I'll say it again. Oh, hey. Grave Problem as our rare. But it's all reused assets for the art, which is just unfortunate because the border has a really crisp design to it. The back is nice for all intents and purposes. The card layout is nice. The rules are nice. Everything about this card game is pretty dope. But unfortunately, for, you know, obvious reasons, Decipher has done this with all of their card games. It's all reused assets, either screenshots from the anime or reused art assets from the video games in some capacity. Like this is just a reused asset. You'd think it's new art made for the card game, but no, it's not. It's just the cleanest looking art because it is a cleanly reused asset. But no, it ain't. It's, that's fucking adorable. Let's see. Oh, hey, Airman. Oh, hey, and a super rare, or ultra rare, I think. Yeah, ultra rare card. These are the foils. It's a bog standard early 2000s foil for this type of game. You know, a lot of the Decipher card games use a very similar foiling. It's very nice, very vibrant. It has that nice straight out of the pack mild curl to it, which is instantly recognizable by anyone who's ever played a card game ever. But it's always I don't know. I feel like for whatever reason, a lot of newer foiling for other card games, like especially Magic the Gathering, I feel like they look worse now than they did back in the day. That's a hot dog eating competition right there. But yeah, I do feel like foiling in general. Pull the foil off to the side, yeah. I feel like foiling got worse. I don't know, maybe maybe it's the boomer in me. Talk about how everything was better back in the day. But I do feel strongly that foiling for the average card game, or the average card in a card game, has gotten worse. So anyway, let me talk a bit about why I like this card game so much. And part of it is the character system. Part of it is the net navies at the heart of the game. I do like that system there where you have a dedicated character in play at all times. And I like how a lot of the cards are designed. So like, for instance, you can only play this card because it has the Iceman symbol in an Iceman deck. And then in theory, this card is designed to help Iceman do what Iceman wants to do, which is whenever you play a resource, you may make your opponent place a card from his or her hand, from their hand, in the power gauge. And you can see that the card itself reflects that desire, you know. The power gauge itself is a really cool system for Mega Man, since it's how you get the energy needed to play your cards. Some of the energy needed to play your cards. Hey, we got... Oh, drop that. We got a net operator. Chowd. It's Chod. That's how I'm going to choose to pronounce it. Look at this. So look at the art here on this card. That's the regular bog standard Airman art. And then look at his art in this screenshot. Look how fat he got. That's great. I love that. That's funny as hell. But where was I? Oh yeah, so the game itself plays really nice. You charge your power gauge, which is... Oops, did I skip over the rare? Yes, I did. Okay. You charge your power gauge, play a bunch of cards to try and outmaneuver your opponent, but more importantly, the strength of your net navi as you enter the battle is hyper important. So all these cards that increase that in some capacity are just super useful for that throughout the game. And I have, in my experience, to keep in mind, I am not good at any card game I play, okay? So before I go any further, I just want to make it very clear, I'm not good at card games, like in general, okay? But in my experience with the Mega Man Anti-Warrior TCG, a lot of the strategies you can come up with, it's cool and all, you know, shuffling your opponent's cards around, messing with their power gauge and all that, but in my experience, just getting the biggest possible number on your net navi is the easiest way to win games. That's just my personal experience. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but Oonga Boonga goes strong with this game. It's just that a lot of cards really help you get there in creative ways, which is nice. Oh, that's some super scary spider stuff right there. Oh, hey, Snake Man. I don't think I've seen him yet. Well, let's spooky looking dude. What the hell is going on there? That is... I don't think that's safe for kids. If you have that on your work computer, you might get a... I get a call from Discord TOS asking you to verify your account with a face scan, you know? Lan! Excellent. Got Chod and Lan. I wouldn't say Chod's a main character, but he is pretty important. In the anime, at the very least. He's pretty relevant to the video games, but Lan! Lan's the man! The Mega Man. Exactly one person's gonna find that funny, but it's okay. It is what it is. But, yeah, overall, I'm really fond of this game. I know I've sang its praises plenty on the channel before. I've showcased some of the cards before, and I've even talked at length about how of Decipher's lineup, of their offerings, this one's easily my favorite. And I don't think I've ever been shy about that. And it's a shame, too, because they have other card games in their lineup that are, in theory, pretty cool, too. Like, the Dot Hack Enemy card game has always been advertised pretty strongly to me. And I do collect that one. I open boxes from time to time, and I'm trying to work on a set for that. Not actively, but it is something I'd like to do. But the thing is, actually playing Dot Hack Enemy is a miserable experience in my opinion. It's just not it's not a game designed for people to easily get into. Whereas the Mega Man NT Warrior TCG, it's very easy to get into this. The boxes are relatively cheap right now. All of them are under $100. Some of them are under 50. And the rules are simple. The gameplay is nice and easy to understand. And a lot of the cards, yeah, you know, say what you will. That one's damaged right out of the pack. Ah, well, it is what it is. The cards look nice. Yes, okay. I know anime screenshots are always going to be inferior to regular old art. Even if it's kind of lazy looking art, I would rather have original art for my card game than reused screenshots. Honestly, and obviously. But at the end of the day, it's still a very fun game. Now, I do have other complaints about it besides just the screenshot thing. The one complaint that I really have is, so Pharaoh Man and Proto Man here, they're on the packs for this set, and they have cards in the set that support them, but you can't pull those characters in the set. Those two characters are deck exclusive. And Base, in another set, I think Grave, is also a deck exclusive. There are 6 net navies that have support cards throughout the game and are featured heavily in the packs and boxes and such. Pharaoh Man and Proto Man here are just examples. But you can't pull them in the packs that they're advertised on. And if you weren't aware of the decks that they came out of, you would never know about them. Which is crazy to me because, like, these cards have support cards. These characters have support cards in the game. Could you imagine opening box after box after box trying to find Proto Man back in the day, only to realize that you'd have to go to your game store and get a deck that has him? I would be pissed, honestly. That would be an actual grievance of mine. Now, I have the benefit of the internet at my disposal, so obviously I know that, ooh, the Magnum, nice. I know this card's pretty fucking dope. But yeah, like, I have the internet and all that jazz, so I know that in order to play with Proto Man, you would need to get the Proto Man deck. But still, like, seems like kind of a silly decision on Decipher's part. That's just my opinion there. Final pack, and our final rare. It's Construct a Victory. So, overall, 3 foils in a box, that is not bad, actually, in my experience. 2 to 4s has been my experience whenever I open a box in this card game. But yeah, I just like cracking this stuff open. This will become new deck production material at some point in the near future, as I have 2 decks right now. I have a Pharaoh Man deck and a Skull Man deck that I am pretty satisfied with, but I also want to get the I have a Mega Man X card now, and I want to build a deck just for him. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, as I just ripped open some cards for a game that I really just personally like a lot. And I hope that at some point you guys will consider giving it a try. So thanks again. Please like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.